Hi there. You're just in time to help welcome a new member into the family, and that would be this huge number 12 size cast iron Dutch oven from Birmingham Stove and Range. This pot is probably about 50 years old or more, and now that it's been properly restored, well, we need to break it in with a project that's certainly worthy of a huge cast iron pot. And so, it's time to make gumbo. Now, I'm a born and bred New Englander at heart, but there's no reason why a Yankee like me can't take a shot at presenting a classic Cajun dish that everyone will enjoy, both north and south. And so, laissez le bon temps rouler.
One thing about a good gumbo is it takes a lot of slow cooking to put it together. Preparations for gumbo are very easy because it simply requires slicing up your meat, sausage, and of course the Holy Trinity. This is going to be a chicken and sausage gumbo, and a lot of people get around preparing the chicken by simply buying pre-cooked supermarket chicken. While you can really use any sausage you want, Cajuns won't consider this a true gumbo if it doesn't have andouille sausage. And of course, don't forget the filet powder, although that isn't added until the very end. Once the preparations are ready, it's time to break out the cast iron and begin by browning the chicken and the sausage. A lot of gumbo recipes start by preparing the roux, but this will add some extra flavor to the roux and give the gumbo an extra kick. We're only browning the chicken at this point. Many recipes say your roux has to be equal parts oil and flour, but I've had more luck using lard rather than oil. This only requires adding a quarter cup of lard to the pan to mix in with the drippings. To this, we add a cup of flour, a little at a time, and start stirring to prepare the roux. Quite simply, this is the make or break moment in preparing gumbo. And even these days, where a lot of people are using nonstick pans, most folks agree the roux has to be prepared in a cast iron pan. That's because we have to keep constantly scraping the bottom of the pan to keep the roux from burning until it takes on the right color and consistency. Of course, if you try this with nearly any other pan besides cast iron, you're going to scratch the surface, and then you might as well throw the pan away. You can't call yourself a Cajun if you don't have at least one cast iron pan for preparing gumbo.
And there we have it. I do believe we have our roux. Now, to add the Trinity.
And the hard part is over, and the rest of the dish is very simple. Adding the Trinity to the roux makes it very thick. This allows us to use every single bit of flavor on the surface of the pan. From here, there are only a few more ingredients to add, including salt, cayenne pepper, and bay leaves. Then, we add chicken broth to turn this from a mash into gumbo. Now we add our sausages and simmer for an hour to reduce the liquid and make it nice and thick. And at this time we can prepare some green onions and keep them in the refrigerator for serving. After simmering for an hour, we have a good thick sauce for the gumbo. Now all that's left is to add the chicken. Cover the pot and let it simmer for another hour and a half.
And just a bit more.
When there's about half an hour left before serving, prepare a pot of rice. This is nothing more than simmering 3 cups of long grain rice in 6 cups of boiling water. Cover the pot, turn down the heat, and let it simmer. The rice will be ready in time to serve with the gumbo. And at last, our gumbo is ready. The chicken is falling apart after simmering for an hour and a half, and it's easy to shred. Stir in a bunch of parsley, because you can't have a Cajun dish without parsley. Now comes the filet powder, and that's a sign our gumbo is ready.
Thanks to advice from my friend the Deep Fried King, I'm very pleased with how the roux turned out. It had a smoky and charred aftertaste to it. Definitely not burnt, but it gave it a wonderful little kick that meant that I didn't even have to add hot sauce to the gumbo because it had a lot of spice to it as it was. I took the gumbo to work where at the office everyone is used to their takeout pizzas and their Chinese orders and their microwave popcorn. And so what did they think of gumbo? Well, it disappeared very quickly, so I'd have to say that was something of a success. And while I am, again, a New Englander at heart, I'm very proud to have been able to present a true Southern delicacy that I'm hoping would please even you Cajuns watching this. And so I guess the final word for this would be merci d'avoir regardé.